The Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf was okay. I thought the story was a little bit, well, before I get into what this was and was what not and what was good and what was bad, if you have not watched this, consider this your spoiler warning. So I thought the story was okay. It's basically a standalone, nothing to do with the Witcher, the first season, or the upcoming season two, even though there seems to be some link to season two, but that the producer is suggesting at, but we're not sure until we see season two come out. But sticking to this animated series, I thought the animation was really, really good. If you're familiar with the most of the anime that's on Netflix, it's very similar to that, very high quality, very nicely done, and I always appreciate it. I thought the pacing was a little bad in the beginning. It felt slow and it felt like it was dragging on to get to the good stuff. And I thought after like the 30-minute mark, it picks up a little bit, but the first 30 minutes were just like all over the place. And maybe that's by design. I always give movies a bad rap for trying to, let us know by a bunch of dialogue and story what's gonna happen, and then they leading into the plot and how to progress it. So I maybe I am hitting a little bit too hard, but I thought the beginning it kind of lost me. But then, like I said, after the 30-minute mark on, it was pretty good pacing, and I did really enjoy how they took it. The gore, the bloodiness. So this animation is not for little kids, so be careful in when you watch this. There is some nudity, there's a lot of foul language, and it's definitely gory, which is why we love Netflix and why we all watch some of these animes. I thought there was good and bad voice acting. Some of the voice acting in this one was done really good by certain part of the cast, but yet other really important, not like side characters that were really important, was really bad, very uninspired. It seemed like they were just reading their lines. Maybe it was their first time doing animation, maybe not, but if some of the voice acting felt uninspired, if that makes sense to you guys, just it didn't match the action that we had on screen. And I thought the script was very weak throughout the whole thing, and maybe that has something to do with the fact that it wasn't that well voice acted. But I don't know. It felt like the script was trying to compress too many plots, too many ideas, and kind of just shove them in one story. Maybe because this is a standalone, I don't think this is an ongoing thing. This was just kind of an adaptation of The Witcher. It's standalone, kind of sustaining, a beginning and beginning, middle, and an end. And I appreciate that from a story. It wasn't trying to be lead up or set up anything more than just the story that it was telling. And for the story that it was telling, it was okay. But I just thought they put too much into it to just have it be what it was, which was an ultimate love story of two young lovebirds that took different directions, but then ultimately come together at a later point in time. And tragedy, like most, love, when you find true love, something happens that takes that love away from you. At least what Hollywood lets us gives us the illusion that is. What I did enjoy though was the score. It felt very Witcher, like the live action Witcher, and it felt very, very epic, very dramatic, very grandiose. Which, if you are subscribed to the channel or have seen any of my reviews, you guys know that I love a good score. I think the music definitely takes the movie to another level, takes the shows to another level, just takes what you're doing, looking at whatever, to a different level. And that level is just epicness. And I, again, am always here for that because it just seems to bring that kind of gravitas to it. All in all, I would recommend it, even though it does have its flaws, but I thought that its flaws were very minimal in the story that it was trying to do. So for me, the rating for this movie is gonna be a B minus, and I think that's a good rating for an animated movie that was self-contained. It wasn't perfect, like I said. The part that bothered me the most, it was that it was so slow. That some of the voice acting was uninspired, and just the compressed script kind of is the reason for that B minus score. But other than that, I enjoyed it. I would recommend anybody that's an anime fan, a Witcher fan. You want a good story to follow along, and it won't take too much of your time, like an hour and 23 minutes. So definitely check it out on Netflix. It's trending right now on the top 10. So anyways, those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And like always, that's a wrap.